if you follow college basketball, you know all of the names. I mean, Jeremy Pargo wasn't really a point when he was there, still playing, but an incredible player. Just, keep going on the, Pangos and Kevin Pangos and so many tremendous point guards. Now they have a true freshman point guard who's a stud. But he said, the only thing that separates who is a point guard, who was successful at Gonzaga was, did you win games? Right? Like, that was it. That's basically what you're judged by. Did you win games? If you didn't win games, well, then, we're not going to judge you with the same kind of glowing thoughts. And that's how most of basketball is. Football, quarterback is judged that way. Not as much mostly not for other players. And that's why they call it the ultimate team game. But there's more to it than just whether you're a winner or a loser, because I think James Harden, by and large, as a basketball player, I'm sure he's won way more games than he's lost, not just at Arizona State or Artesia High School, but in the NBA with the Oklahoma City Thunder and then the Houston Rockets. He's won a lot of games. He just hadn't won the ones that they carve your name into a trophy about. Hadn't even only gotten to the finals once. That was with Oklahoma City. And what I'm about to read you is almost word for word what I've shared with you about Harden. And it's from Sam Amick's article in The Athletic. Talked to a front office executive who said, quote, Harden is a terrific scorer, but not a champion. He isn't a two-way player, and he's hard to play with. He's so used to getting his own way, I think there are concerns he can negatively affect a team's culture. Now, you compound this with the article that came out from Kevin McMahon yesterday or the day before on James Harden, and you start to realize that I've been painting you an accurate portrayal of who James Harden is. And we talk about this all the time. In basketball, you are who your best player is. You are who your best player is. I mean, think about it. Who are the LA Lakers? Why did they win last year? Well, LeBron loves to pass and is committed as a defensive player and a leader. Right? He's physical more than fluid. And that's who they are as a team. Look at the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry, he's not really a point guard. When they were successful, most all of their players were kind of not really point guards, but he loves to pass, loves to take the big shot, loves to move the basketball, plays with a tremendous amount of joy and fun, and almost like he's out there messing around. That's how they play. That's who they are. You are who your best player is. James Harden is a terrific scorer. He is not committed to winning. And it's interesting. I thought Carmelo Anthony was one of these guys that was like that before. Allen Iverson before that. The one difference in James Harden is he's a very good passer and he will pass the basketball. But everything is off of him creating him. I saw the quote where when he didn't have the ball, he just kind of stood there, sometimes barely crossing half court when Chris Paul was on the team. He's not dedicated in terms of his fitness. He's not dedicated in terms of his defense. He's not dedicated in terms of buying into other people handling the basketball, being successful. He's not big into getting there on time or taking care of himself. He's not a winner. Doing all these things don't guarantee that you're going to win. But what they do is they give you the best possible scenario, the best possible odds in winning. That's what it is. I completely agree. And the best thing you can call a basketball player to me or an athlete to me is he's a winner. And the worst thing you can say is somebody's really talented. When you say somebody's really talented and you don't say they're a winner, it only shows that you don't think they're getting what matters out of their talent. Doesn't mean he's not getting a lot out of his talent and he's going to make a ton financially and he's able to be really successful and score a ton of points. But none of it matters if you don't win games. And don't give me the MJ comparison. Like, that's dumb. Michael Jordan did like to play golf, did like to smoke cigars. He clearly likes to drink some of that brown stuff, right? Look at his glass every time in The Last Standing. But Michael Jordan was remarkable as a worker at his craft, his body, his game, at practice, played both ends, guarded the best player, competed, was a winner. Those things that you do or you don't do. You do or you make excuses. That's what you do. And, Sam Amick is saying, this is something that I've said for the 3.5 years that I've been on Fox Sports Radio. Whenever we've talked about James Harden, we can pull tape after tape after tape. I am fully respectful of how talented he is, how he creates fouls, how he can shoot, how he can pass. His passing is totally underrated. But what cannot be understated is he ain't a winning player. There ain't anybody who convinced that actually matters otherwise. And if Daryl Morey thinks that this is good for their culture at the Philadelphia 76ers, well, then Daryl Morey is simply, that's the problem with analytics. It simply goes by the book and doesn't go by the things that we see, the things that we feel, and the things that emotionally affect other guys on the team. If you see your best player, your highest paid player, late to meetings, no showing at practice, late to the team playing, going to Vegas, not playing defense, what's your level of personal buy-in? There will always be guys that go like, well, he does him, that's James does James, and I do me. But there's a lot of other guys that they will go with whichever way the wind is blowing. That's really what it comes down to. By the way, that's my son. My son's 11, and my issues with him are in the company that he keeps because he likes to. He's a I like to fit in guy. That's who he is. So he's always been, and that's fine. But I had to be very cautious of who he fits in with because he will do whatever they do. He'll do whatever they do.